I do not live in hope. I work to return it.
Hello there.
Here, welcome in, monks. We got new Yorick changes. There's some good news and there's some bad news, but overall, it seems to be a bit fair. The first change is that our ghoul leash range is reduced from 2000 to 1600. This leash range, if you're wondering what it is, it's basically what checks if Yorick has more than 4 ghouls around them. For example, here I have 3 graves, so if I raise them, I have 3 ghouls with me. And if I summon Maiden, she will summon at rank 1 2 more, so she's gonna kill a few. See? One of them died. Because Yorick is only allowed to have 4 ghouls next to him. Now, of course, you can break this rule by just going somewhere else or releasing Maiden and raising more ghouls like this. But basically, this leash range is reduced, which basically means one thing. The leash range will basically change something like this. Like here, for example, I'm raising ghouls and letting them push mid. And then if you look at this passive down here, I'm waiting for it to go down to 0. Now it's 0. So I can raise these 4 ghouls to come with me, while these ghouls, well, most of them stay alive. This is basically so you have to wait way less before you're gonna raise your ghouls and take them with you. This also creates another scenario, but we would have to look at that on the PBE. But another change that is also now here is this one. For example, if I teleport down here, Maiden and the ghouls will walk down to Yorick very slowly. But now, when they're further away from us, they'll gain like 500 or even 800 movement speed, depending how fast we are, so they can catch up to us. I'll go on the PBE to show you the difference. Now, before I show you the difference, let's go over the other changes. Last video, if you remember, I said that Yorick's Q still heals against wards, plants, and structures like towers and inhibitors. All that now has been changed. Now the Q heal reduce changed from minions to non-champions. So unless we Q a champion, we won't get the missing, well, unless we Q a non-champion, we won't heal for the full amount. So now we heal for like half against everything else unless it's a champion. Which, it's kind of fair, since we still heal for the missing HP of it. So at some point it's still going to be more healing than live, but it's still a nerf. The third nerf is Maiden's damage, percent max HP damage is reduced from 2 to 4, up to 4, to 2% up to 3%. And that kind of sucks, but it should be still fine because we can apply it more often. So if we go a bit more attack speed items or just stay up in melee range, since we do have a healing on our Q, we should be able to apply the mark way more often. The last change that does hurt is that the Maiden mark damage against monsters had a cap of 200 and then it goes up to 400, but now it's just 100 at all times. Shout out to Made This for Oni. He made a Reddit post on the Yorick mains to explain it a bit better. Basically, if you look at this part, it'll basically show that now it goes from 2%, 2.5%, and then 3%. The good part is, like he says, is that the cooldown is still reduced, so we can basically apply this as long as we're auto-attacking. That part of it is good. There also seems to be this change where Maiden will not raise a ghoul if we're at the maximum of 4. Instead, she will just leave a grave, which is good, so this will help us raise graves and take them down, take them with us. Now, if you look at the math that Ninetales said, this basically means that it really is a big nerf later on, because at the first rank of Maiden, she has the cap of 200 at live, and now it's going to 100, so we basically need to attack twice to reach that amount. But the moment it goes to the third rank, well, the second rank and third rank, we basically have to attack 3 times to reach this amount, and then 4 times to reach the amount we have right now. But the thing is, Baron and monsters have magic resist, So each hit apparently will just deal up like 60 of their HP. Instead, back then it probably dealt like 300 and something. So overall, it's like a big nerf, and it makes it very hard for Yorick to solo Baron, or at least help do Baron a bit quicker. So that part of it is gonna suck. I hope they slightly revert this and make it at least 200, or just make it actually scale up and make the total of 300 go up to 250 or something. I don't know. It still kind of sucks, but overall we still have a very big change where our ghouls will actually follow us quickly, but more importantly, Maiden will follow us very quickly. So this will basically mean, thumbs up, this will basically mean that she can't get chased down anymore. If we're further away, she will actually run to us very quickly, like Daisy or Tibbers or Lulu's picks. So Maiden should be able to stay alive a bit longer. I'm still waiting for PBE to update, so for now let's talk about a change for Black Cleaver that came to even live servers already. In the past, Black Cleaver, you need to apply physical damage to gain the movement speed, but in the item rework, they basically changed it to you need to auto attack to gain the movement speed buff. But now they reverted it. I don't know if it was in the patch notes, because if it was, I missed it. But now, as long as we deal physical damage, our ghouls will gain the bonus 20 movement speed. That is important to note because any bonus movement speed that Yorick gains that is flat, like it's not a percentage, our ghouls will gain it as well. So if we gain 20 bonus movement speed when we attack somebody with physical damage, meaning that our ghouls are attacking them, we gain 20 movement speed, but our ghouls will also gain 20 movement speed, so this makes it harder for them to kite away. This is good because if you go Black Cleaver, you can't get Grudge anymore, but if you add Black Cleaver, your ghouls will still be faster, so them not having the slow won't feel as bad. Alright, so now we're on the PBE, and for example, if I TP back to base, and we look at Maiden, they are running extremely fast back towards us. It's gonna be harder for enemies to chase us, and it's not only Maiden, it's the ghouls as well. So even if I assume if I ghost, I don't think we're gonna be able to outrun them too much. It seems like they're still trailing behind, so maybe the enemy could still kill them, but I think they're still faster than normal. And you see, the further away they get from us, the more movement speed that they're gonna gain. Their movement speed is going up, and then as she gets closer, her movement speed should be going down. And if I TP mid and we look at her movement speed, it's like 800. She's just blistering through the map to find us again.
Still fast as fuck, boy.
It seems like the further away they are, the faster they will be as well. And this will also create a change for when you're split pushing with Maiden, or you release her. Because let's see it this way. I release Maiden, I go bottom. One of these ghouls will not see the minion wave, and when they don't see the minion wave, they should run towards me. I'll just wait. And now let's see when one of these minions die. When one of these ghouls get raised and they don't see a minion wave, they should come towards Yorick. And when that happens, yep, see? There's gonna be one ghoul running through the map looking to find Maiden. And it'll basically create like the spooky ghost effect. But the moment they see a wave, they'll stop. And that's gonna be very epic. Let's say I put a champion in the middle of the river. I raise this grave. I TP top. These will run very quickly. And if they see a champion, they're gonna attack the enemy champion. But if you notice, they still have their very high movement speed, which makes me think that maybe if they're chasing it, maybe they're still going fast? Yeah, they're still going fast. So, it's gonna create a weird scenario where they still need vision technically. As long as they have vision of somebody and they're trying to get to Yorick, their movement speed is gonna be high. Now they're closer to us technically, so Yeah, the moment I go away, if you kept looking at their movement speed goes higher. Because they're still trying to find me, so... If I keep moving the dummies upwards... They're trying to go this way, so let me... Something I want to hear. That is kind of insane. Now their movement speed is low again because I'm closer, but if I TP over here... Let me look back. They still have very high movement speed. So there's gonna be a scenario where one of your pets raise from Maiden or are left behind, and they'll come look to find Maiden. If they're ever fighting a champion, they're gonna be running at them and chasing them with 800 movement speed, depending how far away we are from them. If I TP closer, their movement speed will go down, and the closer I am, the normal their movement speed will become. But the further away I go, hold on. Their movement speed is gonna keep increasing. It seems like the maximum is 800? 893 apparently. Which is interesting. Now there's one more change I want to show. One last change that was also added into the game was that because of the ghoul release range being reduced, it also means the check that watches whether Yorick or Maiden has 4 ghouls around them. Not the one for the Q like this, but the one that's invisible that checks if there's only 4 around Yorick. That has been made shorter. That is what's the first change I talked about. That was like 2000. It used to be 2000 range, and now it's like 600 range. That will basically mean that like, because the ghouls themselves, they don't have a check. Like they don't check if they have more than 4 next to them. That potentially for Yorick Jungle, I'm not good at this. You probably have to wait for Ninetales to make a video specifically on this. That you could potentially have like multiple ghouls up at the same time, and as long as you're not close enough to them, you're gonna have more than 4 ghouls out on the map. And I'm pretty sure they won't even kill each other. So here, I have 5 ghouls pushing a lane. That is only possible because in the jungle it's harder to beat this code, or beat this check that checks for multiple pets being out on the map. If I spawn these and make them attack red buff, now go here and make more.
Searching for a place to take.
The leash range of it is so short that you can generally have a lot of just ghouls on the map. Like as you can see, I have 5 following me. Is it 5? No, the 4th one already died. It already died. This will basically mean that if I raise a lot of ghouls on one camp and go to another one and do it quickly enough before they get into the range, in this case I have to teleport away, we're gonna have more than a lot of ghouls. And then if I mark Maiden and go away, mark the dragon and go away, you can generally have a lot of different ghouls on the map doing multiple different things while you're not in range. Now I can't do this perfectly. I saw Z3 Sleeper and somebody else do it even better. But essentially, if I do it this way, we're gonna have like a lot of them on that. The problem is that Maiden also has that check, so technically whenever Maiden walks past these camps, she's gonna kill any ghoul that isn't more than 4. But if Maiden is dead and she isn't checking, like how Yorick checks, or has a code that checks if he has more than 4 ghouls around them, you can basically have as many ghouls as you technically want. I don't play Yorick jungle enough to know the exact leash range of this, but at the end of this, I will leave a clip from Z3 Sleeper, where he managed to be in the practice tool and summon a lot of ghouls, and show you guys that off.
Oh my god! Hey yo, what the fuck?
But basically, in summary, our Q now will only heal us for the full amount against champions. If we try to Q like a tower or something, we won't heal for as much. For example, I Q this tower right now, I heal for 80, I think. If I Q a champion, we heal for 200. And it's the same for against monsters and words. Q Scuttle, 80, Q Plant, 75. It's because each time you Q, you're gonna get healthier, so it's gonna be less. But if I summon a champion and I Q it, we're gonna heal for like double, not higher even. So yeah. So keep in mind, I do have Grasp, so I'm technically healing for Grasp and that. And if we ever have Maiden out and we're very far away, they're gonna run towards us. So this is gonna be a very big change for us. And the further away we get, the more movement speed they get, and the closer they get, the less movement speed they're gonna have. Outside of that, the Maiden damage against monsters is gonna be less. At least it should be less.
Your end is nigh.
So it's dealing like 60 at the moment. Usually it scales up per Maiden rank, but it doesn't do that anymore. One more change is that Yorick's Q applies the Maiden mark twice.
From the ground they
Or
come,
basically when you auto attack,
they return.
it's gonna apply it once, right? With Maiden. But if you Q, it's gonna do it. It's gonna do both the auto and the Q at the same time with the Maiden mark. So if I summon a Baron, you should be able to see this a bit easier. So if you see the magic damage, I'm dealing 58 to the Baron each time. If I Q, it should be like 100. See? Each time I Q, Baron is taking 100 instead of the 50. I don't know if that's a bug or if it's intended, but that is also a thing. And this also works against champions, I'm pretty sure. If I'm attacking this, it's taking 25 each time I attack with Maiden. And if I Q, it should be 50. So yeah, that's another change.
They once called these eyes.
But overall, Maiden's max HP damage is also nerfed. But I think in the end, this is for the better. It's just sad that it's gonna be harder for us to do Baron or solo or with allies. But honestly, now we don't have to wait too long to like Pat to take graves with us. For example, I Q this, I get a grave, I get a grave, and I get a grave. And now I have to wait less. See, right here I can erase the ghouls and still have these ghouls next to me. So the leash range has been reduced heavily, so you don't have to wait too long for the ghouls to move away and then raise them without ruining the others. So that's gonna be a change, because if these get close, it's gonna kill the rest. Which is why you usually wait for these ghouls to be further away.
The grave is your home.
But that's it.
Wake up.
Hopefully
New task.
there's more changes, or
One more grave.
Maiden losing the percent of max HP isn't too bad. But in the end, I think this is gonna be a great season for Yorick. Just the Q having healing is great. Maiden percent max HP not having a cooldown is great. Now us being further away from Maiden, granting her and the ghouls a lot of movement speed is also great. And the leash range also being shorter is also great, since it lowers the downtime of us just waiting. But yeah, if there's any more changes, let me know. Because apparently I didn't even see the one with Black Cleaver. But otherwise, thank you guys for watching. Let's hope that before this comes to live, they don't nerf Yorick too much, because I wish they would at least leave room to nerf him if he is too strong on live, rather than nerf him on the PBE before he even hits live. but it's all for the better and the balance of the game. So, in the end, thank you guys for watching.
Path is a circle.
See you next time. Stay blessed and stay safe.
Water for the living, shovel for the dead.